And then we're going to add some fresh solder and put a brand new chip right on there. Not brand new, certified refurbished from a donor board. Hello. He's going to punch me because I'm scraping with tweezers.
You never scrape with your tweezers.
Ah.
What don't you ever do?
They're not my tweezers.
You never scrape with your tweezers.
They're not my tweezers. Ow.
What do you never do?
Paul, stop. Thank you. Hey everyone, today I'll be working on a 1502 MacBook Pro 13-inch. The issue is it is not turning on, so let's open it up and see what's going on with it. So we have our MacBook here. It's fully disassembled, so someone has, diagnosed what was the issue. So what we're gonna do is we are going to plug it in, but I do not have my charge port. There we go. Aha. Always prepared. So when we plug this in, we get a green light. Oh, it just almost turned on there. Right? $500, fan spinning, continuously spins, but it takes a second to turn on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now it is taking 200, 100 milliamps. So it seems to be cycling constantly, but it does turn on sometimes, right? Wrong. Okay, now it's just steadily not turning on at all. It's a weird one. Let's see, one more time. 3, 2, 1. And turns on, doesn't turn on. It's in purgatory. It wants to turn on, but it's not turning on. Okay, let's go to our microscope and see if we can find an issue with the logic board. So again, we're going to start at one corner and work our way to the other. Alright, again, this one is also pretty dusty. These are from 2013, so it's not uncommon to see a dusty MacBook. So now, as you can see, we do have some corrosion on a test point, but however, because that is a test point, it is not concerning at the moment. That's not what's causing our issue, but that is a clear indication that there is some liquid on the device. There is some discoloration on one of the pins of this sleep sensor, but that could also be dust, and I can't find it. There it is. That shouldn't cause no power, and that's probably dust that's just kicked on there. So a little alcohol could clean that up. Yep, that does not seem to be the cause of our issues, as it is soldered on still. Looks fine after a Q-tip. So let's keep going down. Usually liquid likes to build up on these edges. Again, these are just probe points, so they don't really go they don't really cause no power. At our PP bus MOSFET, ISL. Is this ISL? Yeah. Okay. Looks pretty clean relative to liquid damage, not because it is dusty. 342 area looks fine. BIOS. That doesn't look too bad. SMC does have some liquid damage. That could also cause our no power issue. However, it does not seem to be on any components. However, there is, again, an indication that liquid has been in this area. Oh, well, I take that back. Under all this dust, there are 2 resistors that seem to have just broken off by me touching it. Yeah, okay. So one resistor was connected on there, as you see the two pads, but the other one that was ripped off, its pads were corroded to the point where it wasn't making connection to the board. I see I would have to scrape in order to see its pads. Actually, this is missing its pad altogether. So that's one area that we are concerned about, but we're going to keep moving along with the board and see if that is the only thing that is wrong with our logic board. I'm going to Q-tip this up a bit. Yeah, as you can see, this pad was completely destroyed. It's corroded to the point where it's actually eating into the layers of the board. So I'm going to have to see where that comes from. I'm going to check out this resistor because there is some crud on it. You got a little push, a nudge. Yeah, it doesn't come right off, but I should have replaced it anyway. I was going to replace it anyway. Alright, so we're just going to move on from there. We're going to keep a note that this part of the board was damaged, and we'll fix that soon. We're going to move down, see what else we can find. There's some crud here, but I'm not sure if that's ruining the board, as this could make connection to this, so this isn't really important. And it's just dirt that trolled me. 5-volt regulator. Has a bug carcass. Clock chip just has dirt. CPU regulator thingies. I'm not sure exactly what these chips are, but they do have to do something with CPU. You don't have to know everything, but it helps that you do. You could also look it up in the schematic. But it doesn't look like these are concerning. It did have some liquid on it, but not enough to warrant board repair in this area. So there's just a bunch of random bits of corrosion on this board that we are going to have to address. Right here you can see there is some green stuff. I believe this is our CPU regulator. This could be the 1-volt regulator. I'm not too certain. But again, there is corrosion there. But it looks like a reflow or just a Q-tip might solve that issue as well. Can't really see with all that dirt, that's why I Q-tipped it off. And I might have to remove the chip because you can see there is some crud right here. And this machine is acting like it is brain dead sometimes, so this might be the cause of our no power issue. Moving along, we have our 1-volt regulator, I think. Or is this one of them's a CPU regulator, one of them's a 1-volt regulator. Both of them are equally just as important. I just forget which one's which sometimes. There we go here. Ooh, we have a burnt capacitor. Not burnt, but probably eroded, corroded, super smaroded. And its pad is completely gone from the board. You have the first pad, and then the second one, which is just not there. You have to do some digging to see if the pad is even salvageable, but it looks like there's just a small hole in the board. Might have to run a jumper. We'll keep that in mind as we move on. We have corrosion all around this chip. Problem with this one is its legs are the same size as the chip, so you can't really inspect it. You would have to take this chip off, which even a Q-tip isn't removing any of the corrosion. So I'm gonna remove it, see if it looks fine underneath, and if not, I'll replace it. Alright, so we do have like 4 troubling spots on this logic board that we're gonna have to correct before trying to turn this on, which is great. We actually have a repair on our hands. Alright, so I'm just going to start off with that chip that we saw and work our way backwards, forwards. I'm going to start off by removing said chip. Alright, just about to melt, and I can pull it off. Alright, now you see, I couldn't see that it was missing pins. All you could have seen was there was just corrosion on the edges of this chip. As you see, this is not making any contact with the board, and we're going to open our schematic and see what that chip is responsible for. So we're going to open up a 1502 2013 logic board. Rotate. Oh, jeez. All right. So this chip, which is right here, is responsible for 3v3 sus, or PM rem something. Something to do with an, let's see. Just sus output voltages, I guess. Which I believe P good, let's see. Oh, it's just power for the PCH, which is understandable that it is brain dead without this chip. Something like that. So what we're going to do is go back to our microscope. We're going to scrape away at the corrosion, try to revive those pads, and if we can, good. If we can't, got to run some jumpers. So let's see if Lewis has an X-Acto around here. She doesn't, so I have to get creative and scrape, I guess. Yeah, I guess I'll scrape with some tweezers. Never scrape with tweezers. So we're just going to remove all that corrosion. Then we're going to add some fresh solder and put a brand new chip right on there. Not brand new, certified refurbished from a donor board. Hello. He's going to punch me because I'm scraping with tweezers.
You never scrape with your tweezers.
Ah.
What don't you ever do?
They're not my tweezers.
You never scrape with your tweezers.
They're not my tweezers. Ow.
What do you never do?
Paul, stop. Thank you. Alright, so we're going to be scraping with our knife and try to get those pads nice and clean. Okay. Alright, let's add some flux back up. Oh, jeez. Uh-oh. Alright, so we're gonna add some solder onto said pads, which they look like they're all intact, which is good. Alright, fresh solder on every pad. And we're gonna wick the excess. That's a lot of excess. Oh. Okay. That pad just left chat. And that pad doesn't even go anywhere, so I guess that's why it's gone. Alright, so we're gonna grab a donor board and put a new chip on. Let's see. There we go. Alright, new chip on. Let's move on to the next concerning area. Right here with this cap. Get that out of there. Alright, let's find out what this cap is for and how important it is. It's right above there, which is there. There, PP3V3SO. Alright, so we are going to omit this. Not only because it is missing a pad, but it's just a coupling capacitor that for 3V3SO that is not needed for the logic board because there's so many of them. If I could find an easier way to solder this back on, I'll try that, but for now, we're just going to ignore it. Move on to the next troubling spot, which was our 1-volt regulator, I think. You know what, let me find out. No more thinking. Only use me brain. Yeah, this is the CPU regulator. Alright. So this either needs to be replaced or resoldered. But I don't know because I can't see the pads underneath, so I'm just going to lift it up, see how it is, put it back down if it looks good. And it looks good, so I'm going to put it back on. Whoa, okay, hold on. Alright, solder it. Add some flux so it'll flow into place. And once it's flown into place, I can press down on it. And then we adjust the small bubbles that came out. That's good. Next area and our final one, our SMC. We had 3 resistors that flaked off due to corrosion. Let's see if we can get that fixed. Alright, let's go to... oh no. Back to our board view, we find out what those stuff are. These 2 resistors, they're 10K. This looks like just some iSense stuff. 0, and you are 100K. Alright, and so we have our donor board. I'm gonna drag and drop our old caps to the new caps. I mean resistors, yeah. Whoa. Shoot, okay. I don't want to directly heat my SMC because it still has its edge bonding on. And I don't want to accidentally reflow it. But just in case, I'm going to remove its edge bonding. That way if it does get reflown, I don't have to reball it. They don't know that I'm royally screwing everything up. Oops. Alright, so I was just putting these resistors back on the board, as you can see. That's 1, that's 2. Third one is missing a pad, so I'm gonna have to run a jumper. That's not the end of the world. Ah. Oh crap, I lifted it too early. Oops. There we go. Some more flux. Heat so it flows like that. And I could properly run a jumper from 342, which goes to those bottom caps. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do a little something. I'm gonna move this resistor down so I can run a jumper to those caps on the right. And where did the resistor go? Hey. Hey. Where'd he go? He's not on my flux, is he? No. Hello? There you are. Come here, mofo. Alright, we have that one soldered on. Now we could run a wire from the bottom of these caps to that resistor. There we go. I'm just gonna break these off. Alright, so now we should have a board that is turning on. Just gonna let this cool off for a moment. Hopefully our SMC hasn't been reflown or damaged. Let's grab our charge port. Rapid cool done. And we're gonna plug this in. Oh. Something wrong. Is it Lewis's charger? Okay. So now, last time it was not consistently being like 800 to 600 milliamps, which means it's turning on. Before it would stay at like 200, 300, but now it seems like it is consistently turning on. Alright, board fixed. Now, before I throw this into UC, I want to make sure that this has no chance of ever shorting out in the future. So I'm just going to grab a Q-tip and clean that off and then green it, if Lewis has some green stuff. I don't see any green stuff. So what I'm doing here is trying to remove as much flux as I can, because this needs to stick onto the logic board. The green stuff that I'm about to put on the conformal coating. Which is better if I just UC the board first. But I think this is fine. Yep. Oh, you don't have the microscope, sorry. Alright, so I was just cleaning that area from the flux so I can add some green stuff, which Lewis has around here somewhere, I just know it. I know you have it. He doesn't have it. I'll be back. Alright. So, some green stuff here. That way this doesn't have a chance to ever short if liquid falls on it, or if, you know, I don't know, if another cap tries touching it or something like that. So now this wire is protected, should be fine, and this MacBook should be ready to go. Alright, move everything aside, get his computer out here. And I will take it apart and UC the board, but I just want to see if this is turning on and booting. Alright, shoot, I have the keyboard backlight. There we go. What a troll. So really, we only need the screen plugged in to get an Apple logo. And of course the charge port, because, you know, it has to run off charger. And I'll plug this in just to hold the board in its casing so it doesn't fall off when I lift it up like this. So one more time, it's gonna turn on. We got 800 milliamps. Speaker's not plugged in, so I'll chime for you. Boom. And we should get an Apple logo on our screen right about now. We're not getting anything on screen. Why are we getting nothing on screen? Hello? Is there more wrong with the machine? There might be more wrong with the machine. Let's see if it works with a test screen. Alright, so sometimes they also have a bad screen cable. It is not uncommon for this model to have it, but hopefully it is not, and I did not just waste 45 minutes fixing a dead CPU. Or PCH, or something around those lines. Click. Click. Fan spin. We have backlight. We have Apple logo. All right, let's confirm one more time that he may have a display cable, or maybe I'm just dumb. One or the other. Because it is quite possible I might be dumb. Okay, cable looks fine. Lift this up, hold it. I do read both YouTube and Twitch chat. If you guys message, they both show up at the same time. I just don't read it as often because I'm trying to get a MacBook to... Okay, no, I'm just being trolled. What is this sorcery, bro? Ah! So anyway, that was a liquid damage 1502. It was causing brain dead some stuff. Some chips were missing its pads. Some resistors were missing its pads. Anyway, in the end, it ended up turning on just fine. I don't know why it didn't display image for the first time. It was kind of weird. But hopefully that doesn't happen again. Kind of strange. But, you know, the board's fixed. Apple's just trying to troll me. You know how it be. So, I'm just going to go clean this logic board, reassemble it, test it, make sure everything else is running fine. And as always, I hope you guys learned something. Thank you for tuning in.
If you're interested in doing the type of work that we do in this video, repairing motherboards at component level, and you'd like to learn more for free, I'd highly suggest that you check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/RossmanGroup. When you visit the channel, you can click on Playlists, scroll down, and you'll see a playlist called MacBook Component Level Logic Board Repairs. On this playlist, you will find over 600 videos detailing how to fix MacBook motherboards. If you feel like the content in these videos is a little bit too advanced for you, or like you need to learn a little bit more electronics theory before you're able to understand what we're going over, you can scroll down in the video description and click on the Beginner's Guide. When you click on the Beginner's Guide, you'll see this 150 slide guide that goes over everything from short detection to how transistors work, to how data lines work, to how buck converters work, so that you can better understand how to do these types of repairs. If you would like more free help, you can visit repair.wiki. On repair.wiki, we have all of the devices listed by model and board number, along with common solutions and common problems, so that you can get an idea of where to look for your particular problem. If you're unsure how to fix it and you just want to pay somebody else to fix it, look no further than rossmangroup.com. On rossmangroup.com, you can find repair services as well as mail-in repair services where you can mail in your repair from anywhere and we'll take care of it for you. If you'd like some paid help with your board repair but you'd still like to do it yourself, you can check out boards.rossmangroup.com, where we have expert-level technicians that will answer your questions for the low price of $29 a month. If you'd like to learn how to do this in an in-person classroom environment, look no further than rossmangroup.com, where you can go here, scroll down, click Learn Logic Board Repair, and sign up for a paid class to learn how to fix motherboards and learn in person how to do the work that we do here on this channel. We have paid resources available, and we also have free resources available for those who'd like to learn who don't have a budget to be able to pay for an in-person class. Lastly, if you'd like to purchase any of the tools that we used in this video, you can check the video description and you will see all of the tools that we use, from microscopes to freeze spray to soldering stations to soldering tips and so on and so forth. And you can visit store.rossmangroup.com to purchase some tools, like the Hot Air Rework Station. And you can visit places like store.rossmangroup.com to purchase some of the tools we use, like the A1502 Hot Air Rework Station. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.